Let's start. Good morning.
Good
Morning.
morning.
Welcome to the Zoom Sunday service of First Parish Church Billerica, a Unitarian Universalist welcoming congregation. Whoever you are or wherever you are on life's journey, you're welcome here with us this morning. And we invite you to stay after the service for conversation. It used to be coffee and conversation, but my name's Brita. I'll be the worship assistant for today's service. And our worship leader this morning is Sarah Mills. She is a longtime member of the congregation and our former president. She has been active in numerous church committees. She is great at sewing and crafts and just very helpful. She cooks wonderfully. And we're so happy to have her with us here this morning. Are there any announcements?
This is your church.
Lisa, do you want to unmute? Our RE director here.
Hi. So I just wanted to announce that I have been catching up on creating some activities for everyone. I have created a UU Jeopardy game for us to play, as well as a UU Bingo. So I will be sending out more information about that soon. I would also like to start an art journaling group. You can find out more about that in the link that I posted. You don't have to be an artist to do it. You could make it as elaborate or as basic as you wanted. It's basically starting with prompts that you kind of do some mindful journaling about, or words, or whatever comes to your mind. So I will be sending out more information about that. And the last thing that I will be sending out information about soon is I would like to do a service project. And I thought about, for the local pediatric facility in town, possibly painting sun catchers that they could hang on the windows for the kids for their rooms. So I will be sending information about all of that soon. But I just want to let people know and to think about whether it's something, whether you would prefer to have activities during the weeknights or whether you would prefer to have activities during the weekend. So if people want to think about what works best for them, that'd be great. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, the what's the facility, the pediatric?
Well, one of them is called New England Pediatric. That's the facility that we could deliver those types of things to. There are others in the area that we could pick from, depending on who is accepting things, due to COVID and whatnot. I was trying to think of something, a service project where people didn't necessarily have to go and collect things, because I didn't know if that would work for people at this time. So you can buy sun catchers in bulk from the dollar store that come in little kits, and I could drop them off to people who are interested in doing that.
Okay, great, thank you.
But if anyone has any other ideas, I definitely welcome ideas. So,
thank you, Lisa. Is there any Barbara Maloney?
Just want to say good morning to Lil, because this is the first time we've actually seen Lil on this screen.
That's right.
Thank you to Mary Jane for helping Lil come in.
Hi, Lil. Hi, Lil. You're in person. Are there any other announcements? People want Sarah?
Just a quick reminder that we are recording people in recording the service, but we'll try to eventually get it edited and out there where people can see it again. We'll be muting during the sections of the service that are not participatory, things that we don't share.
Okay.
I am going to put the opening words up to share. I'll probably choose to just read them. You don't have to say them along with me. So when we get started, if you would please mute for the opening words, but I am going to put the words up just because I think they're powerful and I want to share them.
Okay.
And they're in the order of service.
I just have one announcement that I really should mention. we, instead of having, obviously, we're not going to have the spring fling this year, but I just want to mention that we are going to have a Zoom Canvas pledge drive event. It'll be fantastic with a kind of retrospective looking at, videos of things we've done in Canvas pledge drive activities in the past, and then, everything we've done as a church, or a lot of things. And that is going to be Saturday, March 20th, 7 p.m. You'll hear much more about this as we go on. Okay, so Sarah, opening words.
This is the mission of our faith, to teach the fragile art of hospitality, to revere both the critical mind and the generous heart, to prove that diversity need not mean divisiveness, and to witness to all that we must hold the whole world in our hands. And a lot of the service that I put together is really about trying to hold our hearts together at a difficult time in the world. We're all dealing with COVID. We're all dealing with someone we know in our hearts and our lives having challenges. We all are dealing with not being able to run up to the people that we care the most about and give them a hug. So this is a time when I put together a service to the best of my ability that is about what we can do at this time to feel whole, what we can do to feel good about each other and our lives. And I'd like us to start with our chalice lighting. This is a little different than our usual chalice lighting, but hopefully one that's meaningful. So if you would like to unmute. Ready?
Mhm.
Chalice lighting, words by Albert Schweitzer. And I'm going to light our chalice. So John Luke, would you spotlight it?
Oops. Wrong.
Okay, I have to stop the share long enough for the spotlight to work. Sorry about that. Let me just unshare for a second. There we go. So, oh, I have to have it not going down.
It's lit.
Sorry. There we go. Have to go all the way around the dining room table to make it work so I don't trip on things. Sorry. But we have a candle. We have a chalice. It's lit. So let me share the words and we can speak together. At times, our own light goes out and the kindles by
a spark from another person.
Each of
Each of us
has
has
caused
caused
us to think with
deep
Gratitude
gratitude
of those who
those
lighted
who have lighted the flame within us.
And I think we'll probably all do better with something we're familiar with, our affirmation of faith, which for me is a good way to say, what are we agreeing to? What do we think together is significant and important? And it's a good way to enter for a Sunday. Ready? Love is the doctrine
of this church. The
quest
quest of truth is its sacrament,
and service
service
is
is
prayer.
its prayer.
To dwell
Dwell
together in
together
peace,
in peace, to seek
knowledge and freedom,
to
to
serve
serve
humanity,
humanity, fellowship, to the end
the end
that
that
all
all souls shall
harmony
grow
to
to
the
harmony
divine.
to the divine.
Thus do we cover each other
each other
and with God.
and with God.
And I would ask for this music, Circle Round for Freedom, that we can all sing along if we want to. The words will be on the screen, but please mute.
Yep, gladly.
Jua, are you sharing the music for this?
Oh, okay, I can share it. Do you
Okay,
want me to
thank you.
share the YouTube video or just the sound?
If you said you've got the lyrics in it, right?
Right.
Okay. If you could share the whole thing, that would be great.
Okay. Then I'll share screen. Oh,
Yep.
can you let me share the screen?
Yes.
Sorry, takes a while.
Circle round for freedom. Circle round for peace. For all of us imprisoned. Circle for release.
Circle round the planet, circle for each soul, for the children of our children. Keep the circle whole.
Circle round for freedom, circle round for peace, for all of us imprisoned, circle for release.
Circle for the planet, circle for each soul, for the children of our children. Keep the circle whole.
Circle round for freedom, circle round for peace, for those of us in prison, circle for release. Circle for the planet, circle for each soul, for the children of our children. Keep the circle whole.
That was amazing. Thank you so much. Wow.
Okay.
Anyone
Can
else who
everybody hear
wants to
me?
say it too can as well.
Mhm.
But I think sometimes it helps for voices in unison if we key on Joyce for the unison part.
Can everybody hear me? Okay.
When love is felt or fear is known,
When holidays
Days
and
and
holy days
and
and such times come,
when anniversaries arrive by calendar or consciousness,
when
when
seasons
seasons
come
come.
as
That's the
seasons do, old and known, but somehow new.
when lives are born or people die,
When something sacred sensed in soil or sky,
mark the time.
respond with thought or prayer or smile or grief.
Let nothing living slip between the fingers of the mind.
For all of these are holy things we will not, cannot find again.
Marx A. Coutts. And I wanted to include that because it is a time of year where we have the Lunar New Year was Friday, and I have friends with background that are Chinese and Vietnamese and Thai, and it is a time of celebration and cleansing and renewal. It is also a time for Valentine's Day where we may be missing somebody, or we may be celebrating the people that we can be connected to. or it may be an opportunity to reach out to somebody you haven't said hello to in a while. So mark this time. Recognize that it is a time that is passing, and like a river, this particular part will never come again, but it will always be with us. And with that, I'd like for us to enjoy Jua playing a beautiful piece from Liszt.
Happy Valentine's Day.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much. Jua, do you have the next hymn ready? There's More Love Somewhere.
Okay.
Do you have?
I'm ready.
And I'll share the lyrics, unless you've got lyrics for that one set up too.
I'm sorry.
I think, Jua, you're muted. We can't.
When you muted Jua, we stopped being able to hear the music. That was beautiful. Thank you so much. What I want to try is an experiment for me. I haven't tried mixing PowerPoint and Zoom before, so hopefully this will work and do what I'm wanting it to. So let's see if we can get this to work. Let's see. All right. Oh, slideshow, come on. There we go. All right, there you go. One of the things that I wanted to talk about is where we learn about love. And for me, I learned about love from my parents when I was very small. Sitting on my dad and my mom's lap, I had a chance to have stories read to me, some that I fell in love with and just kept coming back to over and over again, some which I got to share when my son was small. But probably one of the more influential characters for me was Pooh. And in this little picture, for those of you who are on the phone, I have a picture up of Winnie the Pooh walking with Piglet. And Piglet says, "Pooh, how do you spell love?" And Pooh responds, "You don't spell love, Piglet. You feel it." So for me, it's very much something that is active. It's something that is a part of who we are, what we do. And in this time of COVID, we have the opportunity to go back and revisit our favorite stories, to go back and find the things that are significant to us. We can either use libraries to get books out virtually. If you've got a tablet or some other device, you can read something online. And that's one way you can nurture yourself and feel good and take care of yourself at a time when that may be hard. You also have with libraries the ability to take out books by requesting them either typically by phone or online, and then having them available for contact-free pickup. So these are things that we can do in this time of COVID, a way that we can nurture ourselves. For me, I personally am fond of books, and I would suggest that, you go back to the things that early on in your life were meaningful and special and nurturing. But I will tell you that not all of those shared experiences demand an encore. Some of the shared experiences that we had when we were small are tough love. And for those of you who were old enough to remember methylate or mercurochrome, you probably remember someone tenderly loving you and smearing some of that pink stuff on your knee or your scraped boo-boo and going, this is way worse than the fall. Does anybody remember that? Put your hand up if you're old enough to remember methylate or mercurochrome. Well, I bring that up because there are times where we now have to do that tough love. We've got to put on a mask. We can't hug the people that we want to be close with. We might have to do a drive-by to see them and take care of them. Sometimes that's harder than what you want. And I will tell you, when I was in my 20s and teaching, I went out to Eli Lilly, and I actually had lunch with and spent a whole week with the guy who put the sting in methylate. And he told me over, yeah, that was me. I had a chance to actually meet the guy who put the sting in methylate, and the focus group said that if it didn't hurt enough, it wasn't working. And so it was a weird experience in my life. But the one thing I want out of this slide is to recognize that we might not emphasize this enough, but the love that we share supports us and sustains us now. And that there are many people who are doing what they can to support other people. There are volunteers all across the planet. If you think about the number of cloth masks you might see when you go to Market Basket or other stores, I'm seeing a whole lot more homemade masks than store-bought masks. And it's a beautiful thing to recognize that every one of those was probably made out of love. Some of them may be purchased, but a lot of them were made as gifts for other people. And volunteering is something that we can do in this time of COVID. It's a time where sometimes you're doing something bigger than yourself. Now, this picture came from 2015. I was doing a lot of cross-country skiing at the time, and I'm the one on the end kneeling down, holding up the skis. This is a group of blind cross-country skiers that I've worked with for over 20 years, and half of the people in this group are visually impaired, half of them are guides, and they're all giving to something bigger than themselves. And I would say that during COVID, there are many ways that you can volunteer. There are people in Billerica who are helping out with the food pantry. There are people who are making phone calls. They're checking on people who don't have someone close by who's checking on. So volunteering is very often about doing something that is bigger than oneself. And sometimes volunteering is about what one person can do. And if you think about what one person can do, that might be you. And you might say to yourself, okay, what can I do that helps somebody else and makes me feel good about myself? For me, it's baking or cooking. This is a tray of muffins that I brought to First Parish Church a year ago. I don't know if any of you recognize it, but that was a set of gluten-free muffins. And I'm including it because sometimes you can be one person and you can make a whole lot of people happy, and it's not that hard to do. So you think to yourself, okay, how can I do something that is about me because it makes me feel good, but how can I do something about you and the other people in my life, either in your local community or around you, that makes things better? And so I included this one just because sometimes it doesn't have to cost much. It doesn't have to cost much time, but you can make a whole lot of people happy if you just think for a minute about what does it take to do that? What are your special talents and how can you do that? And I would remind you also that we will eventually get back in the building, and we will eventually get to see each other in person. And this next slide is about so-and-sos. This is about a group of people getting together on Monday nights, hanging out and enjoying each other's company at the church, and having part of our community be more than just Sundays. It's part of what we live. So I'm including this because hobbies have become incredibly important for people during this time of COVID. Some people have taken up baking, some people have taken up sewing, some people have learned a new language. John Luke's been learning Spanish. If anybody knows Spanish, he could use a conversation partner. If you have something that is meaningful to you, Lisa this morning was talking about journaling and using art to help with that. This is a great time to start a new hobby, to share a hobby with somebody else, to be with people, even if you can't physically be with people. But it is a time to invest in yourself and invest in others. And so, you know, we may not be able to do that in person, but there are lots of ways to hang out together. And we're going to be doing that again for the March 20th Zoom meeting that we'll have to hang out together, have some fun videos of good times together, and do a little bit of canvassing as well. So yes, we can remember the good times and look forward to the future, but we can also celebrate what we have now. Some of you might know that some of my friends can't drive because they can't see. Well, this is a group of 7 people in the van together going off to go cross-country skiing. These are friends that can't see. I tried to look to see if there were any of my church friends that needed transportation too, but because I was driving, I didn't turn around and take any pictures. So if there are people that we know who can't get out and do their own thing and get where they need to, and you have the ability to help them either by picking up groceries or taking them where they need to go to maybe get a vaccine or groceries or whatever, wear a mask, but pitch in, recognize you can help each other. Chances are whoever can't drive is probably pretty low risk in terms of providing you a threatened existence. So, you know, put on a mask and help each other out if you can. And to kind of wrap this section up, I want to just remind you that, you know, one of the most important things we can do, this is a screen from my phone starting up with Zoom, and it's using what tools we have to reach out to people. So if you think about somebody you haven't chatted with in a while, give them a call. If it's somebody who needs a visit and you can drive by and wave, at least you got that. I know I have met Joyce in her front lawn 10 feet apart to say hi, and we both needed that. So, you know, go see people when you can, even if it's at a safe distance. And we've got the church Zoom meetings available if somebody needs it for a larger family gathering or something special. I know I've helped Bob and Deirdre to set up a Thanksgiving check-in with their family. So take advantage of those resources. You might even write a letter. You might even write a postcard. These things are unusual. And sometimes people even send things back to you. I got, for my family, a manila envelope, and inside it yesterday, my neighbor across the street from China gave us a puzzle, and we've got, for the year of the ox, the front of the ox, which is a number 2, the back end of the ox, which is a 1, and then 2 other parts of the puzzle that when you put it together make 2021 as a puzzle. And when you lay them all on top of each other, it actually makes an ox. So sometimes the things that people provide in your life don't have to cost a whole lot, but they mean everything. And if you have the ability to do something creative, put your thinking caps on. Reach out to people. Everybody needs that right now. It's a time when we can all benefit from those human connections. And if I can encourage you to do anything like that and reach out, now's the time. Because if you turn around and you look at something, you might be surprised. This was my driveway in 2015. I'd walked up to go get the newspaper and turned around and looked back because I had moved the car from in front of one part of the driveway to the other. And when I turned around, this is what I saw. So open your eyes, see what's around you. You'll be surprised. There are going to be beautiful things you would never, ever expect. And believe me, I have tried to reproduce this so many times and I can't. So I had to commemorate it. It's actually on my mug today. I've had that as a way to wake up in the wintertime so many days, as a reminder to look for the unexpected and the beautiful that you would never be able to plan for. It just happens. And when you can see it and it's real and it's beautiful, it's a gift. So life is full of amazing gifts. If we just open our hearts and our eyes, we'll see them. And I have one last part of this. And that is, together, we're going to go into, I think it might be putting out the chalice, or maybe a hymn. Let me just see if I can find the right piece of paper here. Okay. Yes, we have a doxology. Oh, no. More importantly, an offertory.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Sarah, for, that was beautiful. Mine is to, yes, find the opportunities and acknowledge the good in life. Yes. Good message. Yes. Well, it is time to just mention that, of course, our Unitarian Universalist churches are self-supporting. So your gifts are what sustains the work of the church. And you can offer with mailing in your check, or you can, of course, donate online. Just go to our website, uubillrica.org. Okay, let's all try and unmute and sing. We can do it. We're gonna just do the doxology. Okay, everybody, here we go. From all that dwell below the skies, let songs of love and faith arise. Let peace, goodwill, honor be sung through every land, every tongue. Amen.
Oh, that must be him.
Okay, we'll extinguish our chalice.
And
That's
can you
cute.
spotlight the chalice?
Yeah.
Spotlight what? Oh, the chalice.
We might have, yeah.
Extinguish this flame, not the light of truth.
Oh,
Was the thing off while we were singing?
no,
Well, it was. We were supposed to have it off.
no, we're supposed to have it on.
Well-
I'm saying they sound like a bunch of drunks.
Let's say the words anyway.
Yeah.
We
We extinguish
Extinguish
this
this
flame,
flame, but not
not
the
the
light
light
of
of
truth, the warmth
warmth
of
of unity,
unity,
Or
with
the
the
fire
fire
of
of
commitment.
commitment.
These we
carry in
carry
our
in our
hearts
hearts until we are gathered
together
again.
again. Yeah, the guys are late. They can hear you. Oh.
That's okay. That's good. I chose this next hymn and asked Jua and the choir to put it together because Let It Be Dance was a poem that John Luke and I had as part of our wedding. And so if I get a little misty, I'll tell you about it right now that I've got a box of tissues, I'm gonna be okay. But for me, it's a very emotional and beautiful song. So please mute and take it away, please.
Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you. Through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance.
Let a dancing song play the music and fill the sky with fairy clouds. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Learn to follow, learn to lead. Feel the rhythm, feel the need. To reap the harvest, plant the seed. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you. Through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance.
Everybody turn and spin. Let your body learn to bend. And like a willow with the wind, let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. A child is born, behold, must die. A time for joy, a time to cry. Take it as it passes by. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you. Through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance.
Morning star comes out at night. Without the dark there is no light. If nothing's wrong, then nothing's right. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let the sunshine, let it rain. Share the laughter, bear the pain. And round we go again. Let it be a dance.
I am only one, but still I am one. I cannot do everything, but still I can do something. And because I cannot do everything, I will not refuse to do something that I can do. Edward Everett Hale. Do something wonderful. People may imitate it. And I have one more.
Thank you,
Thank
Sarah.
you.
That was wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, go do something wonderful.
You said anything about the.
We don't have any meetings, do we? We had the board meeting before.
Yeah.
Right?
I do
She's looking.
one slide, one more slide
I
to
think-
share.
Was it when Nikki died around Thanksgiving?
Oh, yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's what.
There we
Well,
go.
while she's doing that, I'd like to tell all the music folks, you're getting really good at this Zoom stuff. Thank you very much.
Mm,
Yes, it sounds excellent. Thank you, Jua, and everybody.
yeah, excellent. Yeah, we're getting there.
Great job, great job. Those
And
two
I
little
thought I wanted
kids,
to share
love
that
that.
with, so
I love that.
be inspired. Do
Nurture
something.
your spirit.
Yeah, wonderful.
And there's two kids in superhero costumes, and they're sharing something
Fun,
Why, sorry.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Uh,
I'll go
it's fun, beautiful.